today. I'm with Video Controller. Along with Australian Security Rentals, we're part of the Visium group of companies specialising in video technologies for security and management information. So it's a little bit different a topic from what you've been running through this morning. There is no doubt water is a vital resource of escalating value to our community. To borrow from Tasmania Premier David Bartlett, water is already the most important resource of the 21st century on this planet. Water infrastructure by its very nature is dispersed, remote and often outdoors. Thus our water supplies and the infrastructure represent one of the most difficult security and remote management challenges of our times. How do you protect valuable remote assets covering such massive areas? Are more people on the ground the answer? And what are the risks we are trying to mitigate? Water catchments, dams, reservoirs and the like are dangerous environments representing a drowning risk. As water becomes more scarce, the risks and impact associated with malicious intent escalate. Securely granting access to authorised persons and managing the risk of fire are just some of the many threats. Fortunately, new technologies have emerged that are set to play a critical role in protecting our greatest natural resource. Firstly, who are we and what expertise do we have in this subject matter? Our story started many years ago in guards and dog security, some 25 years back. We knew there was a need to protect assets. We also knew manpower and basic electronics was not delivering positive outcomes. Our business began anew when the global CEO of Mazda called for an across-the-board 10% reduction in operating costs. At the time, we secured Mazda using a rotating roster of static guards. We went one better, eventually delivered a 50% cost reduction by delivering a completely new type of security system. And not only has this solution worked, completely eliminating theft and vandalism for the client, they have saved a net $1 million to date, thanks to the elimination of on-site security personnel. The site was Mazda's Victorian Car Bond Store, a large outdoor vehicle holding facility. Not dissimilar to many water infrastructure sites, Mazda's Bond Store is isolated and open air. Since then, we have gone on to become Australia's largest provider of outdoor security monitoring solutions. We now own and operate a dedicated 24/7 video monitoring centre that provides remote security and management services over IP to many hundreds of national blue-chip companies and utilities. Before I explain how video services work, allow me to further illustrate the shortcomings of manpower-based security and text-based alarm monitoring, as is conventional today. Currently, there is still millions of dollars being spent in the water industry on guarding services, an old, ineffective way of covering outdoor and remote assets. Let's look at the limitations of this manpower, starting with the alarm response. An alarm response is where you dispatch a guard to site after a control room has received a text-based alarm. Here, the average time for a patrolman to get to site in suburbia is 35 minutes, and it's much worse for remote sites. The cost is $60 to $80 per event, and the return on investment is close to nil, as most intruders have been or gone, or worse, in the time it takes for a guard to arrive on site. Next is the random guard patrol. This is another popular way used to protect unmanned sites. This is where a patrol car just drives randomly past 3 to 5 times a night. The cost is $10 to $30 per visit, and the return on expenditure is little to none. Whilst it's handy on the first patrol to check the facility is locked up, after that the service is little more than a donation. With mobile phones in 2 ways, offenders can keep a lookout for one another, spotting the mobile patrol on his random visit. Next is static guards. Part-time or full-time static guards cost $260,000 to $300,000 per annum on a rotation. The return on investment, if the guard stays awake all night and patrols diligently, money. But one man only has a limited field of view, especially in large facilities, and they have no other real upside. Worse still, the question is being asked, are modern security guards part of the solution or part of the problem? The answer, so if pouring billions of dollars into manpower security is not the answer, what is? The answer, as we have discovered, lies in remotely monitored digital surveillance. For the same money or less, you also get a transparent camera-based security solution that is on station 24/7 with a much larger area covered.